Morning, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. I'm just closing my door because my husband's about to come in and the dog's going to start going mental in a minute. So another Saturday, so it's another day of getting rid of all our Christmas packaging because we did have a lot. So the last Saturday we did corrugated cardboard and scraps of paper, some of the ribbon left from Christmas presents. If I get a Christmas present with a bit of ribbon on or whatever, I pull it to bits and I use it. Scraps of everything. So we still will use some corrugated cardboard, but what I've got here is I've got some postcards from our local church that just told us what was on over the Christmas and New Year period, well, just over the Christmas period. And these make lovely journal cards. I used some last year and they're 4 1/4 by just under 6, just between the 5 3/4, actually probably 5 3/4. So ideal to fit in a journal. I have covered some of this up. 2 I did with gesso and 2 I did with acrylic white paint. Not much difference. The only difference between is gesso is a primer. It's like a medium that you use on a canvas or something like that when you're going to put loads of different mediums on. For junk journaling, it doesn't really matter unless you're using a page and you're going to be spraying sprays and paints and stuff like that, then it is ideal. So yeah, so if you want to cover something, white acrylic paint is just as good. And what I was going to do was I was going to use these. If I'd put another coat on, I could have just put a fancy bit of paper down there and used this as the journaling side, but I think I'm going to have to put some paper on just to, well, I don't know, we'll see. But it is glossy. You can see it's glossy. If you want to get rid of the glossy, then what I would recommend is just using either a low-grade sanding board or a nail file. Of them. Now if you wanted to, you could paint on them. You could put white gesso, cover them in white, and that would be brilliant. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some book page on them. So I've got some book page here. I've got the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I quite like the font. I'm not over keen on the cartoon drawings, but I think the font's lovely. We'll do this one first. And I've got some of this. It's bookbinder's glue. I've had it for a long time and I need to use it. You don't have to use bookbinder's glue. If I don't use it, it's going to have to get thrown out because it'll just dry up. So bookbinder's glue is quite strong. Lift that up. Again, I've got a bit skew whiffy, but never mind. So although this video is after Christmas and we're doing Christmas packaging, this video is actually, this is the week before Christmas week. But as I've been buying Christmas presents and they've been coming in boxes, that's what I'm using. I've got a mat with some heavy boxes on. I don't use the mat anymore. So there we are, we've got that. I am going to ink round it. I was thinking of using this one. This one's a Do Craft stamp. I used to work for Do Crafts, and it's probably one of the ones that I got in the kit. So what I want is, I don't know whether I'm going to stamp on that boob page. I've got, now these are the boob pages, the boob page ends. And these look nice when they're stamped on and then put on there. So I'm just going to, you can see it's all spotted, and I think we're going to have that there. And I think I'll go with this one. It's Blonde Moments, and it's the Fresh Red Iridescent. So this has kind of a greeny tinge to it. So I'm going to get my Versamark out. I've got a little talc bag here, and again the Magic Anti-Static bag by Woodware Crafts, and all it is just a little bag, and it's got talcum powder in, and all that does is it stops, when you put your embossing powder on, it kind of stops it from sticking anywhere other than where your stamped image is. And this is kind of an arty art, and it's meant to look distressed, which is fine. And I'm just giving that a good press. Now I can see the image. I don't think you'll be able to see the image, but you will be able to when I pour this on. I was going to use the red, wasn't I? But I'm not, because I'm using this. But what I will do is I'll do a red stamp with a it's kind of missed a bit there, which is fine. Put that over there. And we'll pop that back in there. So if you've just got clear embossing, what I'll do is I'll use a red stamp, and we'll put some clear embossing on it. And I am going to use, my heat tool is quite quiet, however I do speed this bit up, but I'll try and show it so you can see it. And I've kind of overheated it in parts, which is quite easy to do. And I'm just going to rip this off. Put that to one side. And we'll rip this off. Just want all the edges ripped if I can. Not sure about this. Maybe I'll need to put this on. Of course, it's a little bit fragile. It's allowed me to rip it. And what I'll do is I'll do some. So that's our main. I might use a bit of this. So this is just a little bit of German book page. It's an old German Bible that was totally dilapidated. I'm not into ripping up Bibles and things like that, but this was truly dilapidated. I think we'll stick that one down there. I think we might give it a little bit of a... We'll put that one on there. And And this is just a case of getting rid of all your bits and pieces, all your scrap bits. We all have, well, I did have a scrap box, but my scrap box is kind of all over me craft room. I haven't got a scrap box big enough to put all my scraps in. I just get down and then I start creating more. So we're going to have that there. Do we want one of these? What have I got that's, have I got any red ones? Yep, but what I am going to do is I'm going to rip a little bit of that off. Not entirely red, it's a bit iridescent and the two ends off. And all that is just coffee dyed book page, and then you just use your paints, whatever paints you've got, or your aqua markers or crayons, you know, your watercoloured crayons, whatever you want. There is a video somewhere that where I did these. So I think what we might do is we might put that one up there, and yep, so we're going to put that there. Hopefully I'll get it in the right place. If I don't, I don't. There we are. And then you can see where that's gone right the way through, because it is kind of, book pages, old book pages, kind of fragile. But this is not at the fragile stage where it cracks and just disintegrates when you fold it or anything. That's how I know it's not a really, because I've got some really old books from the 1800s. But then, don't get me wrong, some of those pages are really good as well. Don't give up, the beginning is always the hardest. They're just paint chip cards. I was going to emboss them. There's a nice little label there. Quite like that first. And I've done labels lots of times. I've got several videos. If you go to my YouTube channel and just look down, this past year I've done quite a few. And I'm just wondering if I want a bit of lace behind this photograph. So we'll stick it on, but I'll not stick it on. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put that and I'll stick it on the edge there. And sometimes you have to check your lace, because sometimes there's a right and a wrong way to place it down. Okay, I'm going to put fabric tack on this. Things like that. So I'll put that up a bit. Now that's got acetone in it, so just be careful when you, because that's photo paper that I've used on that. So we'll put this one on. Sometimes I cut these labels down, but I'm not going to. And that's just a little bit over the photograph. And there we are. And that's just sticking in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a grommet in the top there. And have these ones have got rings. Somebody did explain the difference between the one's eyelets, one's grommets. Can't remember whether it's the grommets that have the rings at the back or the eyelets. If you're watching this video, let me know again and I'll write it down. So when you've got a ring behind, you're best off putting that so your peg goes into the good part of the grommet, and the ring goes at the back, and there you are. I did have one with a bit of tartan here, and I want to use this, so I'm just going to rip that down a bit. Yep, so again I'm going to use my ink. I'm just going to ink around that, and if we get a little bit of a roll, now when you're using corrugated cardboard, you can make it look really old by inking it, or you can make it look like new and fresh by just dry brushing white acrylic paint on it, or lemons or creams. But I'm going to make this one look a little bit grungy, so I'm just going to go over it. And there we are. And I don't know, do I want the writing on it? I think I might have the writing. I want that one. Yeah, we'll have this one. So I'm just going up more so the inside, the bit that's going to stick down. And we'll put that one there. Doesn't have to go right down to the bottom because the bottom's going to be covered with corrugated cardboard. Put that to one side. And do I want a bit of lace on this? I do want a bit of tartan on the bottom, tiny bit. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And then which stamp am I going to use? I'm going to use my Egyptian Queen. I think we might do her in gold. We'll do her in gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on. And just ruffle it back up, stick that down. Some white. I think I'll go for that. I'm going to mucky it up a bit. So I just put it on there and just check which side's the best. This side. Okay, and that'll go on like that. So again, Fabri-Tac. Put them to one side. And then what I want is I want my little talky bag on it, so hopefully and if you find that it's not stuck, just put the embossing powder back on it. And there, you did see that turn. So again, and then we'll ink round. I think I'll round the corners off on this one. And then ink round it. I'm not being too careful with it. Now just bear with me one moment. Okay, that's me back. It was my son. He'd asked me to print tickets out to go and see for the theatre. So we're just edging this one round, and I was going to put it there, but I think I'll put it there, and I think I'm going to put this bit of boot page we had that one right down there, didn't we? Yep. And I think I'm going to put that one there. It just looked at me when I was looking at my labels there. And it just says tag number. I'll use the so nothing at all to do with an Egyptian queen, but and then we'll just ink that, and we're going to put that one there. On there, and just I'll just trim these bits. And we'll put a, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover most of that. So first of all, I'm going to take this edge off so that it's a ripped edge. This is Italy, Italian holiday, and it's got Florence, it's got the Colosseum, it's got, I think that's the Bridge of Sighs, and that's got the, oh, the, you know, the statues at the Trevi Fountain stamp. I'm just going to give this a little wipe. Now I'm using hand sanitizer. It's got alcohol in it. Some people say don't use alcohol. The alcohol that's in hand sanitizer is ethyl alcohol. The alcohol that you don't use on stamps is the isotope alcohol. Ethyl alcohol is a kind of mild form of alcohol. Yeah, you don't leave it on your stamp, but it is okay. And that's something I learned in when I worked in the craft industry. But isotope alcohol and normal alcohol, you know, that don't use. But if it's in hand sanitizer, it is a mild alcohol. And then I'll give this a clean when I've finished using it. And that's got all that because it had pearlized ink and paints and stuff on it. Now I can see it's taken the colour really well. And we'll put that in there. And I'm just going to put that in the middle. And hopefully, well, there we are. Perfect. It's done a little bit around the edges. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Gloss. Yep, just back in here. And I think what will you, I'm just going to wipe that ink off again. And I think we'll use the Bridge of Sighs. And I don't, yeah, it has. It's got a little bit of, I do a lot of paint stamping with paints and things like that. Always have. Again, something I did in my days of working in the craft industry. Again, we'll put that on there, get it straight. Hope I've got it. There we are, the Bridge of Sighs. kind of stands out a little bit as well. I'm going to put that one on there, and then we're just going to put everything round about. Use a stamping pad with them, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to put this down here a bit. There, we've got the Bridge size in Venice, and we've got Florence. Got some beautiful places in Italy. Collaging. Just placing bits around the edges of that. So we are going to cover some of that in, but we can put it in a little bit. So again, I'm just going to ink in and glue in and things like that. I will kind of take that out the video if I'm trying to show lots of things, and it's, you know, the time's going on, because I know everybody's time's precious. You want to get crafting. So there we are. And it's kind of framing that a little. Alright, we've got a little bit of this is a about to poet. We'll have that. I think we'll have that. So again, and because we've left a little border there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little border here. Again, and we'll leave a little bit of that. Border there. Do we want a bit of this here? Yep. And I'll cut this bit off the cardboard. Absolutely love it. I'm going to put this here. And it just looks as though it was part of it. And if you pull that little bit off there, stick a little bit of glue in there. Perfect. And then we'll go over, add more bits and pieces. I mean, I'm showing you how to build up your stash, really. Got a theme, you know, if you've got a flower theme, you could put flowers up there and things like that. What I haven't used is my... I think we'll stick with the And I'm just going to put some dimly up. Now these have a line so that you know that that's like the bottom of the stamp or the top of the stamp, so you can alternate your stamp and get a good angle. And this is the Vintage Photo Oxide. Old paper, and we'll do the little curly one. So this is like a that's one thing I like about these peg stamps, because you can keep on going. And it doesn't matter if they overlap. That looks quite good. And I'm going to do this one, like the filigree heart. And I'm not bothered that it doesn't stamp properly. And there we are. Oh, perfect. Got at a thrift store in Cyprus. Somebody had handed in a bag of stuff. It was all knotted, and I think it was just what was used on gifts and things like that, because a lot of it had been tied. But obviously they were keeping it because it was all, some of it was tangled, some of it was like wrapped in little sort of like wrapped up, and then a hair clip put in to keep it in place. But most of it was all, Julie would help if you did it the right way. And do that one, take that off there, and there we've got that. And if you just keep pulling the two edges, and then this one I'm going to do like a bow. So put the two edges together and then work from the outer edge at an angle in towards the knot. And the same, 2 seconds. Oh, right, okay, sorry about that. That was my neighbour coming to give me some information. So again, put the two edges together and from the outer edge to the inner edge. It's a bit shorter, but not to worry. And we'll use this little bit here. And that one we've done on the outside. So there we are. We've got our 3. So from a little bit of that, covered it well. I'll show you what they look like. And it's like postcard. So you can use any cardboard. You can use cardboard that's come off packaging, off boxes, and they and you can write on that. I'm just right, so I'm just writing journal card. Yeah, so you can write on it, so you would be able to see. And that's just a normal ballpoint pen. If you used a gel pen or a, you know, a felt tip pen. So I hope you get something out of that. Hope you have a go. It's another way to get rid of some of your Christmas packaging. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.